Certified most accurate by Weather Rate. Now your First Warn 5 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman.
All right, good Thursday evening, everyone. Spring and winter duking it out as a battle between rain and snow has continued throughout most of the day today. And that, of course, coming along for the ride, some gusty winds and even the flooding that we're seeing in increasing quantities around the region. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight over to the latest flooding alerts we have in effect. We have an ongoing flood warning for the Rifle River through Aranac County. This will affect Aranac and Omer. This will be in effect until Saturday, actually Saturday evening, as the river is coming back above flood stage tonight, but will take its time to recede well into the weekend. But perhaps one of the bigger flooding issues we have had throughout the day today has been along the shores of Tuscola and Bay counties, as we have an ongoing lakeshore flood warning there in effect until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Those persistent north to northeast winds, as we saw from Andrew Keller's report earlier, those winds pushing quite a bit of water in off of the Saginaw Bay, though it does sound like there is some evidence to suggest that some of that water is beginning to recede. However, that same issue having some problems upstream. The flood warning that we also have in effect along the Saginaw River is largely due to that water backing in and moving upstream along the river. That flood warning will be in effect actually until Monday at 8 a.m. as the river is expected to rise as much as 2.5 feet above flood stage through the next 2 to 3 days. In addition to that, we have a flood warning along the Cass River through Frankenmuth. That'll be in effect until early Sunday morning. Another pair of flood warnings in Genesee County. First one for the Swartz Creek. That'll be in effect through Mundy Township, actually in effect just until early tomorrow morning, as it's going to be a quicker response with this river. It'll rise very quickly above flood stage this evening, then drop by tomorrow morning. A secondary flood warning also in effect along the Kersley Creek through Saturday morning in Genesee County too. And one last flood warning along the Shiawassee River through the majority of Shiawassee County, affecting places like Corunna, Middletown, Owasso, and even Vernon townships. That'll also be a slow response, as that flood warning will remain in effect until 2 p.m. on Sunday. Now, looking at the First Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar, precipitation really can't make up its mind this evening. We're in this limbo space here where the temps are just close enough to freezing that snow will temporarily win out, switch back to rain. But in general, as we cool off later this evening, all of this will start to change to snow. And at least for the moment, it seems like it's doing that from Bay City to Saginaw, Birch Run, and Flint, all along I-69 and into our thumb locations too. Kind of a bullseye of mainly rain falling across a good portion of Gladwin, Midland, and Isabella counties, right through about Mount Pleasant and Clare. But farther to the north, it's a mix or even just periods of all snow. But as we head through the really next 12 hours, the low pressure system responsible, the good news is that it's already well to the east of us and will continue to pull away overnight, taking all of this wet weather finally away with it, and very quickly allowing high pressure to our west to build in as we prepare to roll into the weekend. Let's take a look outside tonight. We'll head to the Saginaw area right over downtown. A lot of flooding even in the grassy areas tonight with the soil just saturated. Current temp 36. Feels more like 24 though, with a northwest wind 31 miles per hour. You do see a few snowflakes flying by from time to time. But take a look at this shot over Bay City. Get a load of Vets Memorial Park. Here's the Saginaw River. Water's all the way into the majority of the park, up to even the tennis courts. Current temp 37 degrees for you in Saginaw. Speaking of flooding, Kurt Fromm, another photo of that from Quanakesee today. So it's all the way up into the buildings. A lot of houses getting flooded out there as well. But there also has been a bit of a wintry component to this, even if it has melted in a lot of spots. Our weather spotters, Susan and Raymond Bugg from Harrisville, snapped about 3 inches of snow in Harrisville earlier on today. Don Krozaleski also had a little bit of snow this morning. That has since melted, picking up about 9/10 of an inch of rain. He's at 35 degrees. And we go to Bangor Township. Glenn Rowley says the flooding is steadily improving, but still seeing a rain-snow mix there with that 36-degree reading. Temperatures for the most part in the middle to upper 30s as it stands right now. But again, those winds are going to continue to be a big factor tonight. 15 to 25 miles per hour sustained, generally out of the north, but some of our gusts are still easily topping 40 miles per hour. So we'll have that ongoing threat for some scattered power outages well through the overnight period. But timing out the rest of the precipitation, First Warn 5 hour-by-hour forecast, a little bit of evidence that by even about 8 o'clock, some of it may be winding down to the west, gradually changing over to snow, and then cutting off from about the Tri-Cities north and west by midnight, and then finally pulling away after 3 a.m. for the rest of us. Clearing will also very quickly take shape. Some of us as early as about 3 o'clock in the morning may see clear skies rolling in. And a lot of us waking up to, believe it or not, some sunshine as we roll into our Friday, and we'll keep that going well into the weekend, which will certainly be some very welcome news. 30 is going to be your overnight low for tonight, with a mix changing to snow early, then ending after midnight with some clearing taking shape. Still windy. The breezy conditions carry over into tomorrow, 10 to 20 miles per hour out of the north-northwest, with sunshine taking over and a high of about 49 degrees. And in the First Warn 5 7-day forecast, tomorrow's better weather, by the way, also good news for both the Loons and Tigers home openers, and a good chance to dry out this weekend with temps in the 50s and 60s. David and Colette, back to you.